Well, I got this conversation with him about Stephen A. Smith one day. And I said, well, how come he never comes in the clubhouse anymore? And he says to me, oh, no, we had to kick him out of the clubhouse. I said, oh, really? I said, y'all kicked him out of the clubhouse. I said, well, why did y'all kick him out of the clubhouse?
Stephen A. Smith, Stephen A. Myth, is into a little spat with Jonathan Papelbon. He's in the baseball world. Stephen A. taking smoke. Stephen A. did a segment dissing Mike Trout and saying, he's too injured, and how could he get injured in, a sport like baseball where there's not, much contact or whatever. And then Jonathan Papelbon kind of opened up a can on Stephen A. Smith, and I want your reaction. Let's play Papelbon.
When I was in Philly, okay, and Kratz, I think this was probably after you got there. When I was in the Philadelphia clubhouse, we had a traveling secretary, Frank the Tank. You remember Frank, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I got this conversation with him about Stephen A. Smith one day. And I said, well, how come he never comes in the clubhouse anymore? And he says to me, oh, no, we had to kick him out of the clubhouse. I said, oh, really? I said, y'all kicked him out of the clubhouse. I said, well, why did y'all kick him out of the clubhouse? And he proceeds to tell me that he was doing all kind of shady shit, like going through the manager's office, and when he wasn't in there, going through the training room, pulling out reports in all kind of places he shouldn't have been. So for me, I've always looked at this guy like a complete joke, and really it's just real shady guy. Like, when you get kicked out of a major league clubhouse, that means that you should never be able to be a journalist ever again. Well, I don't really call him a journalist. I call him more of an analyst, because if you're an analyst, you know what you study, right?
Did he say analyst or analyst?
No, he said analyst.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, I was just thinking of the sound here. Okay.
He said
okay.
analyst.
Analyst.
Okay. Fair criticism, or did Papelbon go too far?
Boy, first of all, Stephen A. Sleuth, or Sleuth A. Smith. So this guy's literally going through file cabinets and going through that takes some guts. That takes a lot of guts. If it's true, again, this is alleged, I guess, but there is a reason why he got kicked off. I think it's fair. Yeah, if you breach the privacy and you go into areas where you're not authorized and you go through people's privates, whether it's files, computers, any papers, that's dirty pool. You're going way beyond what is fair. But I will say this. If that meant Stephen A. Smith got to watch less baseball, maybe he came out ahead. Lucky him. Yeah, I said it.
Probably
I played baseball.
Yeah, I Papelbon's passing on secondhand information. Not that, I do think he's right in that, Stephen A. Smith shouldn't be taken seriously. But anytime you start passing along gossip and things you heard, it's kind of high risk and undermines the credibility of the accusations. I can't see Stephen A. Smith hunting through private documents inside of a baseball locker room, but who knows? Maybe, I don't know. Stephen A. doesn't have much ethics. He's willing to write books and a fictional narrative about himself. So I guess, he's potentially capable of it. But I'm not going to go too far with this. I do love Stephen Analyst Smith. I do love that. Stephen Analyst.
Well,
don't know if it's better than Stephen A. Myth, but I like it.
I will criticize the sleuth for this. I get it. Baseball's not football. It's not even basketball. Certainly not hockey. But as someone that did actually play baseball all the way up to high school, it's a grind. You're playing 162 games in less than 180 days, and you're doing that with travel. I remember in high school, Montebello, I think it was my junior year, we played in a tournament during spring break, and we had to play like 4 games in a row. Jason, I'm a kid that loved baseball at the time, and you're thinking you get to play the game of your life, all this stuff. By the 4th day, I understood, like, wow, this is actually a grind. It becomes a job. And look, baseball, there's a lot of repetitive movement. You're still on your feet. I know there's a lot of standing, but you still have to do some athletic things. And again, 162 games. And generally, there is not load management. The best players are expected to play at least 150 times a year. They're not all going to be Cal Ripken or Steve Garvey, but you add in the grind and the length of the season. Again, I will say that I think Stephen A. Smith should have a little bit better understanding of what an athlete goes through.
If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.